Welcome back to FFB amigos. And today we have a bit of a weekly update on the CFC. Transfer madness, no midweek game, so I got a little bit of a break. I didn't want to overwhelm you guys with all these transfer videos. All the content creators are making a video every time someone sneezes, and that's just going to kill everybody and my sanity. And I don't want to waste your time. I'm not going to be that kind of channel. So no midweek game, which kind of give me a little bit of a break. And we have the Maresca conference. That is the news with the upcoming game. So let's start there. I'm glad to see that they solved the audio issue that I've been complaining about, and you can actually hear the questions as well as Maresca pretty clearly. And he was asked, I'm going to go over some points he was asked. One of them was, do we need a reaction after the City game? And I didn't like that he said, yeah, we need a reaction, but not because of the City game. And we need a game. He just sort of like broadly, we need to do better. But I don't think it's broadly. I think it has a lot to do with just the run of form. Maybe not just the City game, but with I think the City game, after a loss like that, again, it's a greater team. They could have won. The score is not the problem. It's just the way, right? We discussed that in the post match after that City loss. The way we lost is really what's terrible, and I think there will be a response. There's a response needed. He was also asked because we're playing our game actually during deadline day, and that sort of raised the thing that during the transfer season, Chelsea's been in a bit of a shock, and given that so many players were linked to so many things, because now there's no certainty. Chelsea is, dare I say, turning into a feeder club a little bit, right? Where you're so open to sell your academy players for pure profit. That's not Chelsea's fault, but it's a circumstance, and we have a strong academy and players coming through. There was talk about a Champong leaving, which is just crazy. Again, is that a distraction for the players? Yes. I mean, I think he said yes. He said not as much as for not as much, but he said it's the same for all teams. And I think no. I don't think many teams were linked that had so many players linked to transfers as much as Chelsea did. And I think that runs through the whole squad and it affects morale. And certainly Maresca played into that. I think a lot of us were speculating, why doesn't he play Felix as much or other players, and we speculate it's because they're on their way out, and that makes them think the same thing. But there's certainly some uncertainty there, absolutely. And that's the case. Like I said, Felix, Nkunku, Dizazi, which Dizazi we supposedly already have him gone, but who knows. I wanted to give props. I don't know if you guys know in the comments, please tell me who the lady reporter was in the press conference that you wanted today, because she had good questions. The first few questions made to Maresca were just foolish. I don't think he's doing a great job with the conferences. I mean, ever since the whole we're not title contenders speech, to then defending Sánchez, which we're going to get into that, by trashing Caicedo and Jackson and other players, was just dumb. So I don't think he's shining in a tough time. Of course, it's a tough time, but he's not particularly shining during this. But that lady asked good questions, and she pressed. Here's a question that she asked, for example. He's like, when you played this high line against City instead of sitting back, like she was trying to say it without being too obvious, right? But it's like, why would you do that when the teams that have had success against City have been teams that have sat back to absorb the pressure and then hit them on the counter? Why would you play a high line? And then we know the school that he comes from, which is this like play my game at all costs. And he said he equates that to bravery. Sure. Playing a high line in the middle of the field against a team and leaving your center back one-on-one against Holland. He said, it only happened 3 times that they beat us in the back, which is not true. They only beat us in the back, Mamouche one time breaking the line, and Holland only destroyed our central defender twice. I'm like, yeah, the ball was put into him twice, and that's not good. But in any case, he was also asked, but basically he's going to play like that forever. We already know that, right? And something similar happened when he was at Leicester and he stuck by his guns. And I don't know, Chelsea is tough because I think Chelsea, we have something else in our DNA. He spoke about DNA and like the way we play. And sometimes the force is bigger than somebody coming in and trying to change it altogether. I don't know. Good luck to him. We'll talk about a video especially for him about what it means to have him. Tell me in the comments, guys, Chelsea fans and non-Chelsea fans, Are we really better than against Pochettino? I'm gonna do an analysis probably next week because it's unfair. Of course, Pochettino had a tough time when he came in, but he did really well at the end of the season. We were playing football of form very similar to the one that we had a few months ago before our dip in performance. How does that contrast, man? I mean, yes, there's a couple of we're scoring more goals as a season, but do you think we would have started this season as poor as we started last season? I don't think so. We were on the up and up, and I think remember I was never a fan. I never liked Pochettino. I'm kind of wearing this to debate about that time if we were better off, what would have happened if that progression was allowed. And I don't think he was sacked or he played his PR really well, because if you remember, he said something to the effect of, well, maybe it's me that wants to leave. And I think when he heard some nonsense about what they're doing with players and in the transfers, and he said, I'm out of here. I'm going to the U.S. and I'll see you at the World Cup. Adios. In any case, he was also asked about Guiu, which is another question us Chelsea fans have. Like, why? I mean, is this guy really playing? Given the fact that, this is a great question from a lady, Chelsea has one of the highest, one of the teams that put in the most proper and good crosses in the Premier League, yet our goal scoring conversion is really low. So wouldn't that indicate, like, why are you not trusting Guiu? The question was sort of like that. And he's like, yeah, he's improving a lot. But if he's really improving a lot and there's no conversion on the guy that's on the field, why he doesn't play, who knows? Then, of course, goalkeeper selection. Have you decided who starts in goal? He says no. I think that's BS. He knows who's starting. I don't know what you guys think. We'll talk about it in the match preview for West Ham, but he might stick with Sánchez, man. He was said. Another reporter asked him if the fans are like infuriated about this Sánchez thing. Don't you think that's bad? Don't you think that maybe even for his own sake you might sit him down? And he brought up that like Luis Enrique sat down Donnarumma in PSG and that served them well, but that's not necessarily the case with Sánchez. And he was asked one thing that we're all wondering about: what about Philip Jorgensen? Is he that dude like ultra depressed? Like he's seeing everybody suck. He's not everybody. He's seeing Sánchez suck so bad, and you still don't get a minute. And he said he knew. I told him when he came in that he was going to be number 2. Of course, but that assumption, unless the guy shits the bed, number 1, and if he's shitting the bed and they don't put you in, what then? So that's bad. And people are even talking about bringing Petrovic. He was asked if we're bringing back Kepa, and he's like, absolutely not. But of course, these questions are not crazy nowadays with him just refusing to play him. And I think I feel bad for Sánchez at this point too, because the fans are going to kill this guy. They're going to murder him. They're not loving him anymore. And he risks being booed and treated like crap. And I think that's, give him a break off of that, and let Jorgensen come in. Whatever, we'll see. So this whole window transaction, we've had Matthias Tell from Bayern rejected Chelsea for a sale, supposedly. But one hilarious thing, he named like almost every club in the Big Six. He's like, but I'm open to a loan to like City, United, Arsenal, like every team but Tottenham. And apparently all the Tottenham fans are butthurt about it. So that might not be happening. But I was never a fan of that. I think it's expensive. And at the end of the day, all this noise, I think we're in a huge risk that last minute this weekend and on Monday, we'll be losing some players because Maresca, I don't think, incorporated them or doesn't want them, or who the hell knows, like Felix and Nkunku. And we might not be in time to bring that in to replace just the direct replacement for the B team. And we won't have time to bring other players in because there's no real connections going on other than Colo, which I don't think is a big deal. Tell is off the book supposedly, maybe for a loan, but I don't see how that is the thing that we need, because he wants to play as a central striker, but as a 9, but he wasn't doing that well in Bayern. Obviously, Harry Kane is holding that spot, and to play him on the left, like more, I don't know. And let's speak of Garnacho, you guys know about that. I still don't get it. We'll see. There's this kid Colo that we're talking about that is struggling at Sevilla and that we might bring in. Again, that's not going to help this campaign. Sadly, talking about press conferences, all of this is really about, this season is like a throwaway season and next season was the top 4. And that has a lot of us Chelsea fans completely depressed. I got excited there for John Keider Duran, Papa, Paisita from Colombia, Antioquia, and people like, oh, why is he going to get the bag in Saudi? Well, he's going to go play with CR7. He's going to play with Cristiano Ronaldo, which I think is pretty amazing. I think he risks him a little bit for the World Cup, and he's not like a full starter with Colombia. But I think he's strong enough that he'll make it there, number one. And, man, you got to remember, the career, I don't judge these guys. You know, I used to think that way. It's like, oh, what kind of footballer you should be, you know, going to try to be in the best team and all this crap. But, man, this guy comes from very humble beginnings, a poor family in Antioquia in Colombia. And taking this deal saves your family for generations. And when they mean family, they mean like your cousin's cousin. And these guys take care of a lot of people. And to risk an injury, to be, you know, all principled and low, I'm going to stick it and you know, stay in the Premier League, being a sub, whatever, and take a risk. Like many young players that they just disappear, get injured, and their career's over, instead of going and collecting a huge bag of money and securing your future, that of your children and your family and everybody, and getting to meet and play with Cristiano Ronaldo. Like, I don't judge him. So I'm sad. I would have liked a player, a Colombian, you know, we got the Latin spirit here at FFB. And another friend for Moises Caicedo, I would have really liked to bring to the team. I think they would have been cool. But you know, good luck to him. So we have the preview coming up of the West Ham game. They'll probably be uploading that tomorrow. But for now, that's all, folks. Keep an eye out for that video. Please like and subscribe. And I'll work hard every single day to make better videos and serve this FFB community with the best of my ability. And that's all. And as always, come on, you Blues.